So, you're a beginner artist and you want to get better faster. Let me help you with that. I introduce to you the art of copying. Now, don't get me wrong here, we're not talking about art theft. You'll be diving into a powerful technique of studying and recreating other artists' work to fast track your improvement. Now, copying art isn't new. Throughout history, artists have learned by copying the works of the masters. It's not about plagiarism, it's about understanding techniques, style, and form. Copying can be an incredibly valuable tool in your learning arsenal. It's like a shortcut that allows you to stand on the shoulders of giants. We see the art of artists we admire and we're impressed by it, but they contain way more information for you than you realize. They contain whole journeys. We'll dive into that later. So, why is copying beneficial? First of all, as a nice way of keeping things fun, it encourages regular sculpting, thereby allowing you to practice fundamental techniques such as form, proportion, and composition. By sculpting or modeling shapes that others have created, you reinforce these essential skills and develop muscle memory that will serve as a solid foundation for your future creations. Also, engaging with a variety of artists' work exposes us to different styles and approaches. Whether it's hyper-realistic sculpts by one artist, another artist's work with stylized sharp edges, or art pieces with whimsically round features, each piece you study broadens your visual library and gives you more to work with in developing your art to your taste. And thank God for artists who release their process videos, like me. Thanks to these heroes, you have access to videos of various techniques and workflows to try out and choose or mix whatever works for you. Third, like I said, artists' work and style are a condensation of a whole journey. Now, I'm not saying this to be cringe or anything, I mean it. Many artists have started from scratch, experimenting, failing, breaking down, and finding out what makes a character, a scene, color combinations, and various elements appealing. Some even go into psychology, studying how the human mind works and how evolution has a part to play in it, and the experiences that we have and our environment and all that stuff. But you don't have to. You see, most of the work's been done for us and been passed down for generations like one for all or something. So all we gotta do is to study the people who get it right, and this can save you countless hours of trial and error, enabling you to progress more rapidly and with greater confidence. And lastly, copying other artists' work requires a keen eye for detail and a critical mindset. As you meticulously study each brushstroke, polygon, or sculpting tool, you train yourself to analyze and deconstruct complex visual information. It's one of those things that's both a requirement and a benefit. Over time, this heightened perceptiveness translates into greater artistic sensitivity and intuition, enabling you to create more compelling and impactful work of your own. Now, how do you choose which artist's work to copy? Well, it's simple. You think about the kind of art that you like seeing and that you'd like to make. If you already follow a large number of artists, this should be relatively easy. But if you don't, just take your time to scroll through Instagram or ArtStation and find some artists that you'd like. But I assume we all have artists that we like. Tell me your favorite artist in the comments below. Now, don't go trying to recreate art that's beyond your skill level. You just might discourage yourself. When you try out this exercise, you need to keep it simple for yourself. And if you're a 3D artist, images from multiple angles is very important, especially if you're not so skilled. And if you can even get the models or the project files to do a side-by-side with, it would be beneficial. Some artists here on YouTube have their models and project files up on Gumroad for free, or for a small price. And some artists might even be able to give you theirs on request. Being able to actually see and move around the model or scene and even the context of the project file gives you more to work with, thereby making this copying exercise super effective. Now, you have your subject of study. How do you go about copying it? Well, for one, it's not a brain-dead process. For example, let's look at this quick sculpt I'm working on. It's based on work by Alice Agapova. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I gave myself a limited amount of time to work on it. Then I looked at the render and took note of the features I liked about it. For one, I liked the mouth. I also liked the round shape of the face and the large eyes. Throughout the process, I made sure to keep my eye on the reference so as not to fall into working off muscle memory of the typical face I sculpt. I had a bit of struggle keeping the shapes rounded while not losing the plane, but it was a learning experience for me. While this exercise tested how accurately I can get the results I see or imagine, I'm not too bothered by the differences between the two models. I was able to implement some elements of the style in my own rendition and capture a bit of the character's feel, while also taking note of some of the simplification going on in her work that I could use in future characters of mine. Take note, the first few times you do this, you might not quite get what you want, but in time, you get the hang of it. And don't forget, kids, this is a learning phase, not a permanent style. You still need to incorporate your own touches of originality. And there you have it, folks. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share with your fellow artists. If you have any ideas for art topics you want me to address, tell me down in the comments below. And subscribe so you never miss any lesson. Bye-bye.
Music is my band-aid.